Good morning, guys. Today is the day that we are going. That was my mom. Let's see what mom has to say. I don't want her to be lost. Running late, leaving now. Okay. So today's the day that we are going to go get my first trimester ultrasound, see the baby, and get my blood test done for the gender. How do you feel?
I feel like another dog swimming, honestly, because we're not finding out the gender today.
Yeah, like I don't feel like extremely nervous or anything.
I don't either. Like maybe like afterward, like after your blood gets like, I see the vial of blood, I'm like,
that has a gender in it.
that is our answer right there. Ella. Psst.
Thank you.
Hey.
Okay.
Ella, you can't scream.
Okay, so we don't know if we're gonna be able to get a blood test today, and just in case, we've started planning our gender reveal for next weekend, and she knows the gender, and we kind of wanted to do this a little bit differently, but things happen, so we're going to record our reaction right now to the gender because she knows what it is.
Oh, how do you feel? She doesn't care. She doesn't know what's happening right now.
No, she is sucking on this thing. I'm like keeping it from going all the way straight down her throat.
Little nestled in there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can you clap, Ella?
Oh, clap. Yay!
Yay!
No.
She was just eating her Twizzlers, that's all she's happy about.
Yay!
Yay! She's legit taking
She's
bites
chomping
off of this thing.
She's using those teeth.
She is. Wow.
Ah.
Yeah, you know it too, don't you? Huh.
It is
that good?
She's talking to her sibling.
She's saying, I'm the boss. I was here first.
Alright, so we are done with our appointment, and Ella is asleep. Oh, she's almost asleep. She's so good. And Ben and I are going to share a slushie because I want a slushie, and he says that he would drink some, and that means that he wants one too. So we're gonna have to get a weird one because you're gonna drink all of it.
Of course I am.
So yeah, that's what
I also want a cheeseburger.
No, we are not getting food. Okay. So we do know the gender of the baby, which means that we really need to get on this gender reveal thing because the biggest reason being Ben can't keep a secret.
I can't keep a secret, and it's literally, well, I guess it's that there's no point in like giving our friends a shot and like giving them some advance because like we're talking about maybe 4 days away. But I hate that.
Ben is just really bad at keeping secrets. He just wants everybody to know. And
hey,
so,
I helped your pregnancy for a pretty long time. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah, he did. So we need to plan that. We're probably gonna do that within the next couple of days, hopefully, if we can get everything done and people can come. So yeah, we weren't planning on having it this soon because we thought that we were gonna take a blood test, which I'll explain when I get home what happened with that. But we didn't get a blood test, so I'll explain that.
And we did. I mean, we did record some of it. I don't know how much we're gonna put in because obviously the gender is in there,
right?
And we do say like he/she, like we do use that like
the pronoun.
We use the pronoun, so I'm not sure if you're just gonna bleep it out or if you're just gonna keep it all out.
I think I'm just gonna keep it all out.
And then save it?
Yeah. Alright guys, so I wanted to explain a little bit of what happened at the doctor about the whole gender test and how we didn't get the blood test done and how we walked out of the office knowing the gender of our baby when I really did not expect that to happen at all. Like what happened with Ella is they wanted to test for Down syndrome, and I explained this in our last vlog, but they wanted to test for Down syndrome, and with that test you can look at all the chromosomes and you can see whether they have an XY or an XX chromosome, and that's how we figured out if Ella was a boy or a girl. Now, during the ultrasound with Ella, the tech asked, would you like a guess of what I think it is? And so we said sure, and she said I think it's a girl. So she ended up being right, and Ella is a girl. So that's how it went with Ella, and that's how I was expecting it to go with this baby. As we're sitting in the doctor's office, I ask Ben and my mom, and I say, if she asks us if we want to know a guess, are we saying yes or no? So we're all on the same page and we're not like looking at each other, and we all agreed to no because we wanted to get our reaction on camera, and that was settled. So we go into the room and I start getting the ultrasound, and the tech goes, do you want to know the gender? And in my head I'm like, well yeah, like we're gonna get the gender done. She's like, no, do you want to know the gender like from the ultrasound? And I was like, you would know the gender? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, okay. And then I realized in my head, at this point I am 13 and a half weeks. They usually do this ultrasound between 11 and 12 weeks. So I was over a week past when they usually do this. So the baby was definitely more developed than it would have been if I did go at the right time. They were just really booked. I was like, I guess you would have a really good guess about the gender. I don't know, like I'm not the ultrasound tech. Well, I tell her, I'm like, well, we're gonna get the blood test done to test for Down syndrome and like know the gender that way. She's like, why would you get the test for Down syndrome? And I was like, don't they do that? And she's like, no, they only do that for high risk pregnancies. I don't know why you would need that because this isn't a high risk pregnancy. And I was like, what? Because that was my entire plan the entire time, was to get the blood test done, a week later find out the gender, and then do the gender reveal party. And so then I couldn't like get my mind off of this whole entire situation. She's like, you're definitely not getting that test done, you're not getting the Down syndrome test, like you don't need it, I don't know why you would need it. So I'm like, okay, I'll just talk to the doctor. And she's like, you'll have to like pay extra through insurance because it's usually not covered and all that stuff. So my mind is racing. I'm like, I'm probably not getting this blood test done. She knows the gender right now and she could tell us, but we can't record our reaction right now to her telling us like this isn't how I planned it all to go. But if we don't figure out now, we have to wait 7 weeks to find out if it's a boy or a girl. So my mind is just racing and I couldn't even like enjoy the ultrasound. I was just like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? So then we're kind of discussing it in between us, me, Ben, and my mom, and we asked the ultrasound tech, could we record our reaction? Like, could we record? And this entire time I'm thinking that we can't record anything. She's like, yeah, you can record, and it just can't be me recording. And I was like, okay. I was like, do you guys want to do that? Like, the original plan was for my mom to be surprised at the gender reveal, and I was like, do you want to step out of the room? She's like, no, I want to be in here, like I want to know what it is. So my mom was in the room. We finally got the camera to like focus because it was so dark in there. It took a few minutes, so I kind of explained like what was happening, and she told us, and we got a reaction on the camera. Thank goodness. It just didn't really work out like I thought it was going to. I had this whole plan in my head and it just didn't work out that way. So I'm not exactly sure what our plan is now that we know the gender. We'll probably do gender reveal really soon, so you guys will know the gender within the next week, less than a week. I think the latest we're going to be doing it is Saturday maybe. You guys will know really soon the gender of our second baby. I'm really excited to share with you guys what the gender is. It's so fun. Like, gender is just so fun. You get to finally know what you're having. You can finally put a pronoun to the baby, and instead of calling it or the baby, like you can say he or she or him or her, and that's just really cool. Like, I was able to say that in the ultrasound, like he or she is laying like that, or he or she is moving, you know, and it's just really fun. I'm going to end the vlog here. We have a lot of gender reveal planning to do. We also have some friends coming over, and then Ben has a soccer game tonight because it is Wednesday, and Wednesday is soccer night. So that's going to be the rest of our evening. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to follow our Instagrams and subscribe before you leave, and we will see you in our next video. Bye guys.
You set my world on fire. You're my